What's up, listeners? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the In the Endzone podcast. Just a quick heads up before we jump right into it. You can find this recording as well as some of our previous recordings on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can find us by searching at Settle Down Media on both of those sites. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages. We regularly post on Instagram. You can find us by searching at In the Endzone podcast on Instagram. So thanks for watching this and enjoy the rest of the episode. Peace on for 1 week and this goes to shit. This whole thing just goes to shit.
Because you're talking in the middle of us.
Nope. This thing just went to shit.
You know what's not shit? Our new merch drop. Look at this, baby. If you want a crew neck, go to settledown.store. Go fucking find this motherfucker. This is the softest $25 crew neck I have ever purchased. Go get yours. Keaton, I'm not gonna lie right now, you kind of remind me of Queso. I'm so sorry.
This is the most comfortable cotton $10 shirt. Go to wafflehouse.com/merch.
I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of tough.
My dad got it for me. It was actually right when I went to Salt Lake City and devoured fucking 89 waffles.
Well, fellas, you know what else is hard? My dick from that Super Bowl, because man, oh man, was that an awesome game. I'm sorry. I'll never root for the Eagles again, but I did, and I had the time of my life. Fellas, how was our week?
Ant, you wanna lead us off?
Yeah, week was good. Watched the Eagles take the Chiefs to Pound Town, which was fantastic.
Awesome. I want to take you there.
Oh, but anyways, hey, just like I said, real quick though, remember last week or the week before, I said, hey, I'm gonna go psychological on this, and I'm gonna say the Chiefs are gonna win. All the other times I said Chiefs we're gonna lose, but look, I reversed it.
The curse.
Yeah. So you know what? I broke the curse there. So the Chiefs finally lost.
Yeah.
Other than that, though,
psychology.
Yes, but other than that, though, a week was good. Actually went out to Palisades, so that was pretty fun as well, honestly. Fantastic experience. Devastating what happened there, obviously, but legit was a wasteland over there. It legit looks like someone dropped a bomb on that city. It was the most incredible thing I've ever seen, and not in a good way. I'm just saying it was just something I've never seen before with my own eyes in person.
Yeah, and I went to dinner on Friday and he showed me all those pictures. Dude, it's crazy. Like, it's genuinely like something I've never seen.
Yeah.
Never.
It was insane. But really cool though overall. It was a great experience for me to see and learn and everything. But yeah, that was my week. Keaton, you were gone last week. Talk to us, brother. How are you?
Yeah, man, I'm good. Went to Salt Lake City with Sage. Went to a hockey game. They won in overtime, literally on the last second, and I say last second as in like the last second of overtime.
Really?
Which was sick. Yeah, like I mean, literally slap shot. I think by the time the goal went in, it was 0.3 seconds left till the end of overtime. Crazy. So it was exhilarating. Went to a basketball game, watched my Warriors choke a 12-point lead with 2 minutes left to the second worst team in basketball. Had to turn around and tell this 8-year-old kid who's his first Warriors game, who's crying because Steph Curry just had the ultimate choke. And I looked at him and I said, sorry, man, but this is the Golden State Warriors of 2025. And I shook his hand. Felt so bad for the kid. No, week was good, man.
Feel good.
Oh, I did, dude. Hey, I broke the trade. I broke the Jimmy Butler trade to him. So
fair enough.
I was his shams. Week was good though. Week was good. Watch the Eagles brutally dismantle Mahomes. I can't say that I enjoyed it, but it was great. It's like I wanted a closer game.
I enjoyed it.
Well,
I enjoyed it.
You had guys have reasons to win though.
You wanted
I wanted to see history. I want to see the three-peat. I want to see the three-peat. My thought process.
To settle down. You're the first one in that dancing video. So actually, you haven't seen that, huh?
No. If
I'll send it to you.
My thought process is if, like 20, 30 years down the line, my kids are like, hey, where were you when Kansas City won that three-peat? I could say, hey, I watched it. You know what I mean? Now it might never happen. Now Carolina's going to have to pull off the three-peat. It's stupid.
Yeah,
it's,
but in 20 years, one of your kids is going to ask, hey, where were you for the Luka trade? And you could say, well, I was here. So
where were you with
We'll be fine.
Where were you with,
Okay.
Zach, how was your week?
It was good, man. It was good. That was insane, but it was good.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry.
like I said, Ant and I had gone to dinner on Friday once he got back. Where were you? Or no, maybe he hadn't gotten back. So we just hadn't gone out and like hung out for a while. Just us.
I was at Palisades.
That was nice.
When I got back is when we went out.
Did
to
you
dinner.
go? When did we go out? Maybe it wasn't Friday.
I was out Saturday.
Oh, it was Saturday night. That's what it was.
Mhm.
So Saturday night we went out to dinner. He showed me everything, dude. That shit was crazy. So I'm hoping that everyone that has their family there and has a house there is safe and sound at this point. But man, seriously, dude, I really hope the best for that place and everyone that was involved. My prayers go out to you and your families. However, after that, we got set up for the Super Bowl and we got some B-dubs and then watched the greatest game that I've watched all year. It was fantastic seeing Patrick Mahomes on the ground 8 times, maybe even more.
First time in his career.
It was awesome, dude. We'll talk about that later. But so far this week, work's been busy and can't really complain other than that. I'm ready to talk some ball.
Oh yeah, let's talk some ball.
Keaton, run that intro, boy.
Okay.
Green 18. Red 48. Settle down. Wide 80. Set hut.
We suck. We suck. Get rid of Belichick. Get rid of Mac Jones. Get rid of our entire fucking receiving core.
You guys are 2-8.
That's what I thought.
2-7, 2-8. It doesn't matter. We still suck.
So Seahawks played the Ravens. Final score was 28-25. Geno Smith, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. Anyway, not really much to write home about that game. Just
Right.
This is
I don't think
egregious.
Jared Goff is a top 5 quarterback in the NFC.
Wait,
I think
are you putting Justin Herbert over Jared Goff?
Yes.
It was like an interview for like a new podcast company.
Yeah.
Called Brazzers. I mean, you could see I'm literally in the headquarters right now, dude. Still waiting for that call back from Brazzers, man.
Oh man. The media
Waiting for that call back. Yeah.
I mean, I will say, last week when you were on, we started having a bit of a conversation just about nicknames with you because that Meaty Keaty scene, we got a little bit deep. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Well, I mean, no, there was like 3.
Absolutely.
There was
Meaty Mutt, Meaty Keaty.
Mutt.
What else?
Mutt was
there?
like,
What?
I think it was
There
just
was a
those
lot.
3. I think it was just those 3.
There was a lot, but that was funny, man.
Yeah. Well, speaking of a lot, let's talk about this ass whooping that the Eagles put on the Chiefs. Because
Man,
look, if you look at the score, you say, hey, 40-22. This is kind of a big loss, but not a bad loss, right? Well, that's not entirely true. Super Bowl 59. Let's just get right into this. Through the, I want to say it was 5 or 6 minutes till the end of the second quarter, Patrick Mahomes was like 5 for 9 with 24 passing yards.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
If I had one word to describe this game, destruction. I think that's the easiest way to describe this game.
Yeah.
It was an absolute blowout.
Yep.
We're gonna talk mostly today about what happened in that game. I know everybody's watching their highlights and all that shit, but I mean, from my perspective, dude, it was war of attrition. The Eagles came out and did exactly what they wanted to do, which was limit Patrick Mahomes' ability to scramble and make plays. If you can do that, he will panic, and he absolutely panicked. They also exposed the fact that Kansas City this whole year has not really had a true number 1 receiver. Xavier Worthy, you might be on your way, but
Xavier Worthy played really, really well.
Played great. But you know what? He had a garbage time touchdown. So
I want to say this. You said one word to describe the game would be destruction. I'll show you one thing, one visual to describe how the game went. Patrick Mahomes highlights from the Super Bowl. Right? I mean, it looks kind of crazy, 34-0. Look at the time for me and say it out loud.
2:32, third quarter.
Yeah. Also, is that
2 minutes
is,
and 32 seconds left in the third quarter? That is when Patrick Mahomes' highlights started.
Yeah.
If there was one visual of how this game went, that would be it right there. It was pure
So
destruction.
I do just want to pull
Ass
up.
whooping.
I do just want to pull up all in all just the team stats real quick with this.
I'll pull them up right now.
So the Kansas City Chiefs, just team stats right here. If you guys want to go player stats in a little bit, that's cool. So the team stats start off with Kansas City, 275 total yards, 226 passing yards, 49 rushing yards, and 5.6 yards per play. For the Eagles, 345 yards, 210 passing yards, 135 rushing yards. Honestly, most of that is Jalen Hurts. Saquon did not do a whole bunch, but we'll get into that later. And then 4.9 yards per play. Another thing I do want to point out real quick, sacks allowed for the Eagles, 2. For the Chiefs, 6. 6 sacks allowed. Incredible. And then one more thing. First downs for the Chiefs, 12. For the Eagles, 21.
No. Oh, wait. Keep that up, Keaton. You're forgetting one big thing right there. There was something that everyone was complaining about, and Anthony did not read this out yet.
I did not read it out yet. You want to go? Okay, yeah, I'll go for it.
No. I'll read it out.
Okay.
So time of possession, 36 minutes and 58 seconds to 23 minutes and 2 seconds for the Chiefs. However, that's not the stat. The big stat is the penalties. 7 penalties for 75 yards for the Chiefs and 8 penalties for 59 yards for the Eagles. Fellas, this might be the first Super Bowl where Patrick Mahomes has had more penalties than the other team.
You know what?
We aren't the type to say, oh, they've only won because of penalties. However, there's been a lot of conspiracy theories and a lot of people talking. That was the case. That was a well-ref game. Game.
Yeah.
There was 2 on each side where I was like, that was soft as fuck. A couple where it was like, ee.
The OPI was a good call.
It was, but it was soft.
Yeah, that's fair.
Also, there was a makeup call with the personal foul with McDuffie that went up for the ball and hit him with his head. That was bad.
You have some PTSD with some OPI calls in the Super Bowl, so I'm sure that got to you. I said
the exact same thing to my coworker. I was like, dude, this reminds me exactly of Kittle.
Yep.
Anyways, pure destruction, man. It was fucking crazy. It was nuts.
I kind of just want to, go over a couple of individual player stats. I think the thing that stands out the most, the lack of Travis Kelce in this game. He had 3 targets through the first half. One of the targets he had, is kind of you're down by 10, I believe the score was, or might have even been 17-0. And Travis Kelce gets a wide open pass and he just drops it. I mean, a 10-yard stop and like a stop route. Just
technically
a curl route right at the top. If you want
to look at it, he had 2 drops. There was one that hit his hands too where technically he could have caught it. But I'm not going to give it on him. I think that was a bad throw on Patrick Mahomes. But
I think there was a couple bad throws.
And this one I want to bring up real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
No, sorry. Okay, yeah. So the one that I want to bring up real quick, it's not even about Travis Kelce, but you brought up a just complete wide open drop ball. DeAndre Hopkins, bro.
Dude.
That, I'm sorry. If he caught that, he would have been down the field for a touchdown, I think.
That would have been a
touchdown. He was wide open. It would have been a touchdown. Yeah, there was no one there. Open, no coverage.
DeAndre Hopkins, fellas, what is DeAndre Hopkins known for?
Nuke, baby.
His hands.
Well, he had a drop. He had a big drop. That was a bad one.
That was a huge drop because that was when they were down 10 or down 17. One of the two.
It was down 10 or 17.
I want to get back to Travis Kelce.
Yeah, no, go back to Travis Kelce.
Are you going to go back to Travis Kelce or no?
I mean, I'll go to Travis Kelce. I just don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I was really
before you move on. Travis Kelce had 3 targets and he had 1 catch, or what was that?
Okay, so it was through the first half. He ended the game with 4 receptions and 39 yards.
Okay. So first half touchdowns. Was 0 for 3?
I think he had 1 catch.
So he was 1 for 2. Targets. However, if you watch the game, Travis Kelce's biggest impact wasn't even in the pass. It was in the run in a negative way. Homeboy was awful in blocking. Awful. There was a play in the first quarter where he pulled and hit the running back. The running back. That's how slow he was. He hit the running back. That just handoff right here. Handoff. He was going in motion this way, handed him off, and hit him. There was another one where he completely just stood on the line. Everyone got off. He was there for a half second. Didn't even touch the guy. Sweat just came running down the line and made the fucking tackle. The blocking was seriously some of the worst blocking I've ever seen in the game. Ever.
Terrible.
Yeah.
And not just Travis Kelce, just in total. Like, they were fucking awful.
I'm gonna, there's so many things that I could say about this game that doesn't really do it justice. I think the one thing that I want to hone in on the fact was that the Eagles did exactly what the Eagles wanted to do. But they also got massive plays from a lot of players like Cooper DeJean or Quinion Mitchell,
Zach Braun.
Slay. Zach Braun played a great game. Darius Slay played a great game. CJ Gardner-Johnson had a decent game. That defense, I believe there was a number, and it was like the second best defense that's ever played in a Super Bowl in terms of EPA against in a single game. And on the other side, I think the Chiefs, I got to give them credit, because at some point there's winners and losers on every side of the ball. I thought the Chiefs defense played a hell of a game despite what happened. I say that loosely because they ultimately gave up 40 points. But one, we're talking about a pick six here to Cooper DeJean. We're talking another about 12 points by
the Zach Bond interception was horrible.
The Zach Bond. We're talking about that.
An instant touchdown.
Jake Elliott had 12 points, so they held several field goals. And so ultimately, it's not like they were just getting blown out touchdown after touchdown. What they did was they said, hey, we're not going to let Saquon run the ball. And so we'll stack 5 to 6 in the box. Saquon did not have a great game. He didn't have very many catches, didn't have really many yards.
He was great blocking, but other than that, he was non-existent.
He was great in blocking. To me, he was pretty much a guy that was just there. Who really stepped up is Jalen Hurts. Over the last 2 weeks, Jalen Hurts has been a great player. He delivered the deep ball. Look,
wasn't expecting it.
That was a bad interception. I will shit on him as much as needed to be. But he, other than that play, he was fantastic. Scrambled when it needed to, didn't make bad reads.
It was a dime.
Even the ball to AJ Brown, not only on the touchdown pass, but the other pass that was called back for an OPI.
And the one after that too, even.
Yes.
And
he was making fantastic plays.
The wheel route to the running back, was it Gainwell?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gainwell.
Gainwell that it threw it to. Yeah, that was a fucking dime too.
He played a great game.
He looked
I got to give him credit.
And here's the thing. I think one thing for all of us, and this is Eagle fan, maybe not Eagle fans, well, maybe it is actually, but the one thing I was always concerned about with the Super Bowl is Jalen Hurts actually going to step up, right? Is he actually going to be able to make these throws and not just rely on the run game? And he clearly proved that in this game. And he proved I can do this. And guess what? We're going to do both. And they succeeded on both. Sure. Saquon didn't go up too much. He may have gone, his farthest gain was maybe a 10 or 11, right? But but like what Keaton said, Jalen was able to run up the field multiple times for easy 15-yard gains. Like, he really proved, he stepped up 100%.
Right.
He proved it.
Right.
Proved himself.
Honestly, I think the biggest thing was the trenches. Like, if we're going to talk about something, the biggest thing was easily the trenches. I mean,
absolutely.
The Eagles pressure with 4 guys all game. 4 guys all game. There has been 8 Super Bowls where a team has not fucking blitzed. The Eagles were one of them. You know what the record of that team that did not blitz was? 8-0. 8-0. That is a recipe for success in the Super Bowl, in the playoffs, in everything. The Eagles have the best, I don't want to say front 7. They probably do have the best front 7 in defense, but they easily have the best defensive line. That's what I was getting at. That front 4 is fucking nuts. It's nuts.
The Georgia defense, baby. That whole defensive line is Georgia. I think also what speaks to it is just the fact that Howie Roseman, the GM for the Eagles, crafted a team that was so perfect to win this game that they're ultimately it would have to take, in retrospect, right? Hindsight is always 20/20. It would have had to have taken Patrick Mahomes to be the most godlike quarterback that we have ever seen him be, and Travis Kelce to be the most godlike tight end we've ever seen him be, just for them to be in this game.
They weren't.
I want to ask you guys a question. Of the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 receivers or 8 players that caught a reception in the Super Bowl for the Chiefs, how many of them do you think had more than 20 receiving yards? Of 8.
I would say.
Hold on. Let me do the math. There's 3: Juju, Travis Kelce, and Xavier Worthy.
I think 2. I don't even think. I think it's Travis Kelce.
That's right.
I only know the Travis
What
Kelce one
Juju have?
because
Juju had 16 yards.
Yeah, fuck. He had that
Marquise
one.
Brown.
I thought he had more.
Marquise Brown,
0.
2 receptions,
Homeboy-
15 yards.
Homeboy
Kareem
was
Hunt.
non-existent.
He was non-existent. DeAndre Hopkins, 2 receptions, 18 yards. Travis Kelce, 4 receptions, 39 yards. Let's flip to the other side. Of the 5 players that had receptions for the Eagles, how many of them do you think had more than 20 receiving yards?
4.
All 5.
Oh,
All 5.
Okay.
Dallas Goedert, Saquon
No.
Barkley, Jahan Dotson, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith.
Jahan
I mean, that's
Dotson,
just
man. What a
Jahan
guy.
Dotson averaged
Played
20,
great.
21 yards a catch.
Great in the playoffs.
The most
Like,
amount of
he's
yards
played
per
great in
catch
the
on the
quarterback.
team.
He's played great in the playoffs. I was gonna say cornerback because I think the Chiefs were missing a cornerback from last year. L'Jarius Sneed looked like he was missed. And last year we looked at this and we were like, the Chiefs single-handedly locked down the 49ers because, one, they knew that they could put one guy on both George Kittle and Debo because they're not like super great route runners. Mind you, George is, but if you put like a super physical cornerback on him, he'll probably stick with him. L'Jarius Sneed was missed. L'Jarius Sneed was missed, man.
Sure.
I'm telling you. McDuffie looked good, but he didn't look like he was last year. He did not look like he was last year
No.
with L'Jarius Sneed. There was a couple of things that were missed. And look, in a legacy game where you can be defined as the greatest franchise potentially of all time, the greatest quarterback potentially of all time,
Greatest dynasty
and
of all time.
of all time, yeah. They had all an F performance. Spagnuolo, F.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Jones, F. Patrick Mahomes, F.
Andy Reid, F.
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. You're
Andy
fine.
Reid, F. Patrick Mahomes,
Yeah.
F. I don't know if I froze or anything. All of
You're
them
good.
an F. An F game. Travis Kelce, a fucking F minus. I mean, Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes played the worst game that they've ever played together, ever in that Super Bowl, ever. It wasn't even a question. Like, they looked bad. At one point, Ant and I started talking, are they going to put in Carson Wentz? We literally asked ourselves that. That's how bad he played.
Yeah.
And like the typical, like, oh, you know, the Chiefs do this every single fucking Super Bowl. They're always down 10. They're always down this. They're always down blah, blah, blah. Nope. First 5 minutes, once the Eagles got to him again with just 4 guys, it was done. They punted the ball. I knew it was GG's. Knew it was GG's. So
I want to ask you guys, what do you think from a viewership standpoint? Because I feel like I know what my turning point was for the entirety of the game. What do you think your memorable play was? If you know off the top of your head, that was the turning point of the game.
The Devontae Smith touchdown.
well, the complete
Are you talking?
I think was
like-
that
like-
one for sure.
Like I'm saying, like you saw this and you said, "Yeah, it's over. Chiefs aren't winning this."
The
There's just no way.
Devontae Smith touchdown, 100%.
There were
Once I
two.
saw that,
There
I
were
said,
two.
"This is game over."
There were 2. When Cooper DeJean took that one to the house, I thought it would be very, very hard. However, that second interception to Zach Bond, that's when I knew it was over too. Because
Yeah.
if they would have scored, they would have came down. They could have scored again right in the beginning of the half. They would have been right back in the game. That
And they
completely
got-
changed it. Completely
I-
changed it.
Fully agree. That is exactly what I was going to say. I felt that the Cooper DeJean, first and foremost, first ever white cornerback to get a pick 6. He did it on his birthday. First
Our
interception
brother.
of his NFL career, and
That's
people
our
said
Jackie Robinson, baby.
he's on a good CB. I'll stand on business. I said I think he's going to be a good player. I thought he was going to be great. I was shocked that he fell as far as he did. Just a little bit of a Jackie Robinson moment. He fell because of his skin color. Put that out there. He did, dude. He did. I mean, look, if this guy is he's dumb athletic, and he always has been. He was a 4-star play. I mean, dude, he was a 4-star athlete out of high school.
Yeah.
Baseball,
He was a 4-star
basketball,
cornerback, basketball player, and I think he played baseball player.
and he was a track runner. He's like the second fastest track runner in his state.
Yep.
I felt like the Zach Bond interception was by far, that was like, okay, that's GG's. You just,
Yep.
And you know what? It sucks because, you look at the play and Travis Kelce got hit, or Mahomes got hit. He got hit in his leg, and it caused him to throw that errant pass. But the problem was,
We'll talk about it.
he was so nervous the entire game. I don't think if he doesn't get hit, he still makes that pass. It's just how he played all night.
It's the first game since I think that first half of the 2020 Super Bowl with the 49ers where I looked at Anthony and said, Patrick Mahomes looks uncomfortable.
He looks
could see
human.
his work was awful. awful. He couldn't make a throw. And when he did, there was guys dropping shit the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
And I want to say this too. Look, I think Patrick Mahomes is great, and I still think the argument that he could be the GOAT when it's all said and done is still up in the air. I still think that's a possibility. However, I do want to say this. Great players play great in the Super Bowl. We've seen it with Tom Brady. We've seen it with Joe Montana. Joe Montana is 16-0 touchdown to interception ratio, 4-0. Patrick Mahomes has lost now twice. Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl has a passer rating of 86.9, 1,300 yards in 4 games, which is an average of 300-ish yards, 10 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions in 5 games. He is throwing more than 1 interception per game.
Yeah.
And touchdowns, we saw it last game. How many fucking of those 3 touchdowns were garbage time?
All 3.
3.
Yeah.
3. He's the best fucking playoff performer of all time. However, Super Bowl performer?
Maybe not his strong suit. Maybe not his strong suit.
He's keen to throwing interceptions. And that's what he did.
Look, from a fan's perspective, and this is the last thing I'll say before we kind of jump into some of like our, like our awards and whatever the case is. I gotta say the absolute winner for every, regardless of who you like, the winner for everybody was the fact that Taylor Swift was only shown 3 fucking times because they're getting dismantled. I was with my best friend Hunter. You guys obviously know Hunter, but his fiance Jackie is a big Taylor Swift fan. And every time Travis Kelce got the ball, she's like, oh, Taylor Swift, they got it. I'm like, no, I'm like, if I'm a Chiefs fan right now and we're getting blown out 34-0 and they show Taylor Swift, I might actually put a shotgun to my skull.
They showed, what was her name? Anne Hardaway. Is that her name? The really
Anne Hathaway.
hot actress.
Yeah.
Hathaway. Yeah. Anne Hathaway. They showed her 3 times. That shit was crazy. Hell yeah.
Good.
Apparently she's a Giants fan too, and she was there rooting on Saquon and the Eagles.
Nice.
Also, I want to say this before we get in. The memes that have came from the Super Bowl are fucking crazy. Number 1, the Jackie Robinson with Cooper DeJean. It's been fucking fantastic. It is hilarious. And number 2, the one with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. That one's really bad too. Really, really bad. But I was gonna say something and then I just completely forgot. Dude, there was a meme set that I've been seeing a lot recently. Damn, I can't think of it. Fuck. I can't believe I just fucking forgot that. Literally in the middle of the sentence.
It's so crazy. I just went on Twitter and the first thing I saw was a Anne Hathaway tweet.
Damn, what was it?
Oh my God.
I don't know. I can't think of it now, but there were a ton of memes from it. That shit was fucking hilarious.
Yeah. I just, dude, I don't know, man. It was blowout. It was destruction from start to finish. Eagles did not.
If you're not a Patrick Mahomes or a Chiefs hater, you probably hated the game.
Yeah. I didn't mind the game. Yeah. I just did because I didn't have a dog in the fight and I kind of just wanted a close game. I was definitely okay, I kind of want this to be over. Not going to lie.
Right.
Well, look, I want to jump into, a little bit of numbers, right? And not so much just a pure stat based thing, but just kind of how we feel about how certain awards were given out, right? Jalen Hurts, I got to be honest, the guy's a 2-time national champion. Or no, I'm sorry, he's a 1-time national championship. Did he ever win? Let's see.
The Heisman? No.
He never won a Heisman. Okay, so he's a CFP national champion. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler. He's a 2nd-team All-Pro. He's now a Super Bowl champion, and most importantly, he won that Super Bowl MVP. Now, a lot of people were kind of questioning why he won the Super Bowl MVP. I thought he played a hell of a game. I don't think he deserved the MVP. I do believe he's the face of that team. And you can't give it to Saquon. Personally, I thought it was Sweat. I thought Cooper DeJean could have won it. I really did. But I want to know what you guys think.
Before I get into this, I want to say this. I was looking at my likes because I knew I liked more than what I had said with the memes. The one thing that has been fucking awesome is seeing Nick Wright get destroyed on his fucking show. That has been fucking awesome. Nick Wright, look, I'm kind of 50-50 with him. I think he's kind of a bitch with the Chiefs because he glazes them so much. But there's a lot of takes that he has that are decent. This was fucking awesome. Then the other one, Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston was fucking awesome over the weekend. Now getting into the Super Bowl MVP. I don't even think there's a question on who should have won it. And I don't mind Jalen winning it. After he threw that bomb to Devontae, I looked at Anthony. I was like, okay, he's going to win it. However, I think Montez Sweat should have won this, and it should have been Josh Sweat should have won this, and it should have been easy. Josh should have won it, and it should have been easy. I mean, and this is the weird thing that I will say. I don't really like how he's handled this. So you look at it, he's obviously been interviewed a bit after the game and stuff like that because, I mean, he's a free agent and he's probably going to make a good amount of money, and he played fucking fantastic. So let me read out his stats before I get into anything. Sweat had 6 tackles, 2.5 sacks, and a pressure that led to an interception, the Zach Bond one, where he hit a defender or offender, the offensive tackle, into Patrick Mahomes, and he threw the bad ball that got intercepted. So there's been a couple of quotes that I want to read out. Sweat took advantage of Joe Thuney, who is an all-pro left guard, but they moved him to left tackle in week 15 because their position there has been just awful. However, Thuney looked like he was a guard in that game. And Sweat replied to a question basically asking like how he handled it as he don't play tackle. He's a guard. That's all it was, but we don't underestimate anybody. Moving forward, they asked him just about the Super Bowl MVP because there were a lot of people, including 16 voters, that voted for Sweat and thought that he should have won. His response was this: I should have had it. I could have had it. It's all good, though. I don't like that response for a couple of reasons. One, you just won a fucking Super Bowl.
I hate that response. I'm not going to lie.
Same. Number one, you should give props to your fucking quarterback. And number two, you just won the Super Bowl. Like years, maybe like months later or like a year later, if you're on a different team, you've been like, I should have won it for sure. But you just won. There's a potential that you come back.
Yeah. I mean, that's got to be tough, though. It's got to be tough because you're probably thinking, hey, it's mine.
Suck, but it's like, what? Your quarterback, your leader won it. It's like, okay, and it's a fucking quarterback award. Every award's a quarterback award. You should have known. And he played great. I personally, and this is what I was going to get at before I let Anthony speak, I think he should have won. And I think Cooper DeJean should have been second. And then I think it was a flip of a coin between Zach Bond and Jalen Hurts because Zach had 8 tackles, I think, and an interception. But Jalen played great, and it's a quarterback stat. It's a quarterback award, and that's the thing. But I personally think that Sweat should have won it. Josh Sweat played fucking fantastic, and he looked unstoppable.
Yeah.
But that response is awful. As a teammate, I would hate that. Like, I would be like, dude, what the fuck? We just won a Super Bowl. We haven't even gone to the fucking celebration yet. We haven't gone to the parade, and you're talking about MVPs and not giving people props?
Yeah.
Like, talk about fucking team chemistry. Like, you're ruining it. We just won.
Yeah.
So I don't like the response, but I do think you should have won, personally.
I agree. Toners, boners?
Yeah, I agree. I think Josh should have won it. I think he played unstoppable. He was unstoppable during that game. I do think Cooper then should have won it, and then afterwards, Jalen would have been my number 3 choice for the MVP. I do not agree with how that with what his response was with the MVP as well.
Sure.
If anything, and I think Zach, I have a better word for that than the team chemistry thing and all that. It's selfish. It is 100% selfish, and you like Zach said it perfectly too. You just won the Super Bowl, my guy. Like,
people dream
enjoy it and enjoy the moment with your teammates. Be happy that you guys won, and on top of that, your fucking team captain, your leader, the leader of the team, won the MVP, and you guys did it. You guys beat the freaking Chiefs. You stopped them from repeating. Be happy, celebrate about it. Don't go pissing and moaning and whining and bitching about an MVP trophy. And I won't necessarily say that it's a quarterback trophy because there have been other players that won it. For example, 2 examples: Julian Edelman in 2018, and then you have Cooper Kupp in 2021.
Malcolm Smith won it for Seattle in 2013. Linebacker had a pick 6.
He did.
But if the quarterback plays decent, he's going to win every single time.
Oh, absolutely.
Unless something happens like that,
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But and Jalen Hurts did. He did perform, right? But nevertheless,
he did,
be happy for your team. Be happy for your team. Don't bitch and moan like that and whine and complain, because that makes that everyone else sees that and they go, wow, kind of glad this guy actually didn't win because he's just a sore loser when over a small little thing. You just got a ring, dude. You just got a ring. Have fun with it. Celebrate.
Yeah.
That's my take.
That's the thing to me that doesn't make sense. Like, you had 6 tackles, 2.5 sacks, and you caused an interception. Do you know how many guys can say they've done that in a Super Bowl?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. Not a lot.
My
Like
career.
there are
You,
so many
Keaton?
guys that would there'd be
Superstar
so
mode.
many guys that wish that they could fucking change the positioning or the outcome of what their
Oh,
season
yeah.
was to what Josh Sweat just had. Like there's guys that dream of that moment, and you're talking about you should have won a Super Bowl MVP. You just won it. It was 12 hours ago. Like I don't know, but yeah, I mean, either way, crazy. I think Jalen deserved it, but I would have given it Sweat.
Yeah. Well, let's talk with the other side of the coin. Big elephant in the room. I mean, I think we all need to address this. Is Taylor Swift gonna leave Travis Kelce? I mean, I'm sitting here losing my mind, thinking, "Oh God, is she gonna go to Dickerson?" Or I'm sorry, Dickerson. Lane Johnson. Is she gonna go to Lane Johnson now? Because I mean, that guy's got 2 rings. He's a white guy.
Oh my God.
I mean,
You're fucking ridiculous.
I think Travis Kelce should be thankful that Jason Kelce retired last year, because Taylor would have walked right over to his suite and just been, all right, dude, let's go make some money, No, I do want to ask. So one of the overlying questions, and I'm just going to pull up Spot Track real quick. Shout out Spot Track. Because I think a lot of us want to know, do we think Travis Kelce is going to retire? I don't necessarily think so. Personally, I think this was a down year. Now, he is an undrafted free agent going into 2026. So he will have, let's see, his total cap hit this year, his earnings are on track to be $17 million this year. I don't personally think he retires. I think it would be, unfortunately, stupid for him to do it. He's 35 years old. He could realistically play another season at least. It's not like he's going to ever be worried about money if him and Taylor work out.
There's no way in hell homeboy retires.
You don't think so?
I think the only way that he retires is if, number one, he gets benched, or number two, he has the type of year where it shows his bad moments the whole year. If he genuinely thinks that he can't play, there's no reason for him to continue. But if he thinks that he can, why wouldn't he? You're playing with probably the third best coach of all time, the third best quarterback of all time. You're playing in a dynasty with a bunch of great fucking players. There's no reason to. There's no reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he will. I think he'll play at least one more year, and then after that, he'll make the decision.
Sure. And I think that's realistic.
I think that is too.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Before I kind of give my take, because again, I don't think he's going to retire. However, this play right here does not give me any hope that Travis Kelce is going to have any motivation coming into next season.
I see it already, and I know this play.
Dude, this is so bad. Okay, this is 27-0, 4 minutes 25 seconds left in the third quarter.
Dude,
This is also. I just have to say one thing. This graphic right here.
Oh, terrible.
Not only one of the worst things I've ever seen, this is literally Fortnite. It looks like Fortnite graphics. It is amazing.
Yeah.
That's why my background is the way it is. So Travis Kelce, I believe he's right here. Watch him. Watch this miraculous play he makes while Patrick Mahomes tries to scramble for a first down. I'm sorry, he's right here. Watch this amazing play he has. Throws up his hands. Hey, why don't I get the ball? That's not nice. Throw me the ball. Boom.
What?
The guy he was supposed to be blocking.
Wait, can you replay that?
Oh, I can.
This was not the play that I thought you were showing.
Okay.
No. Okay. So replay
Right
where? Yeah, there he is.
He's right here. Okay. Let me just mute it because it's loud on my end.
What the
Doesn't
fuck
even
are you
block
doing?
Sweat. Okay. Hardly block Sweat. Okay. Shed block, whatever. Get off him. He is not open here, nor is Patrick Mahomes available to throw him a ball. Second and 4, you got it.
Not in the yard.
So look, he's not moving. He's not running to try and get open. Watch his hands. Watch his hand movement. Throws it up. Oh, I didn't get the ball. Boo-hoo. Okay. Patrick Mahomes sees him. In this sense, he should run forward and try and make a play, or run back, and Patrick Mahomes can hit him across the field. He does not do that. Watch what happens to 42. Boom. Punches that ball out and is so lucky. Patrick Mahomes got that ball back because it was a penalty against the Chiefs. That if that's a live ball.
I think that's the reason why he threw his hands up. Because if you rewind it, it looks like he's looking at the tackle or guard that gets the penalty.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, because he just looked.
Yeah.
Okay.
However, if it wasn't against them and he ran upfield, that could potentially be a 30-yard game.
Okay, right here. This is my point.
Like,
Watch
like,
this.
What?
Watch this.
Why do you sit there and pout? Like, you don't know.
Eyes on Mahomes. At this point, when he starts cutting to the right side of the field, you should be moving with him like a Hall of Fame tight end that you are, like a guy making $17 million that you are. Cut the fuck up. Don't just stand there like a fucking pussy.
That's one of the greatest attributes of Kelce.
Look at that. He doesn't even look like he's willing to do anything. At least this guy who's playing man coverage is at least in a stance ready to say, hey, I'm going to block you. If Patrick Mahomes pushes up, I'm going to punish him. Kelce's the special need kid sitting on the sideline saying, when am I going to get in, coach? It's ugly.
The manager.
Dude, it looks so bad, man.
Oh, no.
It's so bad. And yes, he's not going to retire, but like that's stuff you can't.
No, and that specific play is really fucking tough to watch because that's what Travis is known for. Finding zones, finding soft zones. That's literally what he's known for. He's the best at it ever. So for him just to sit there and pout, it's like, Travis, what are we doing, man? I don't think he'll retire, but it was an F performance from him.
Okay, well, speaking of F performances, I want to do one last thing before we jump into the news and wrap up officially the 2025 season, something that's been pretty unpredictable. Let's just say hypothetically, Mahomes wins this Super Bowl. I think that there is a large number of people that would sit here and say, he wins the Super Bowl, he's probably winning the MVP. That gives him 2 MVPs, 3 Super Bowl MVPs, and 3 Super Bowls. 4. I would give him 4 Super Bowls.
Yep.
I think confidently, I would say, hey, he's the greatest quarterback I've ever seen play. I think he's the greatest player of all time. I'd put him over Brady. He loses this game, and he looks ugly doing it. He now sits outside of the Joe Montana talks because he doesn't have that 4th ring. But I wonder with, how you bring up his stats, he doesn't perform well in the Super Bowl. Where do you guys rank him all time? Where do you rank Patrick Mahomes all time after this performance?
3rd. Honestly, and this is the thing, I think we kind of sound like bandwagons right now, Anthony, because we were talking about him potentially being the greatest. However, we had said we don't think he will be. We were in talks of that, but we thought he would be the 2nd greatest. And maybe there is a bit of a bias from me because I'm a Joe Montana and a 49ers fan, but Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, deterred his GOAT conversation by just playing that game.
Yeah.
By just playing that game. He played horrible. If Patrick Mahomes went out there and did not throw an interception and they lost the way that they did, I would have said, okay, there might be an argument. He played awful. It was like the 2011 LeBron. Like, he played awful. He played bad. Like, you watch that game, you're like, he actually was a detriment to his team. When we talk about Montana, Tom Brady, all of them, can you name a Super Bowl where they were detriments to their team? No, you cannot.
No.
You cannot.
No,
he was one of the main reasons why they lost. And so, in my opinion, I think that there was an argument for him to be second I think there was an argument for him to be first if he won it, and he would have definitely been second, in my opinion. Now, I look at it and say, fuck, this might sound a little bandwagon-ish because I had him in second before this, but he played tank him down a little bit, and I say he's the 3rd best. I still think he's better than Peyton Manning, but I don't think he's better than Joe Montana, and really the main thing is Joe Montana was 4-0, 16-0 touchdown interception ratio. Patrick Mahomes has thrown more interceptions in the last 2 Super Bowls that he's played in than Joe Montana has ever thrown interception. I mean, it's tough to fucking argue because Patrick Mahomes probably to me is the best talent. And I was saying this, I think if Patrick Mahomes won the 3-peat and they continue with their dynasty, he could potentially be the 2nd greatest athlete of all time. Not just greatest quarterback of all time. I would put him behind Gretzky. Like, that's how good I think he could have been potentially. And I still think he can be great, but you got to do something that no one's ever done before. And that was his moment. And he didn't show up. And to me, you kind of have to put him down the list a little bit after a performance like that. To me, he's third.
I kind of want to put him fourth. I think a lot of people don't respect Peyton Manning and what he did, especially when you talk about the regular season. Peyton Manning has has a Super Bowl MVP. He's got 5 MVPs and he has 2 Super Bowls. He doesn't have 4 and 2 and 2, right? But he's got 5 MVPs and 2 Super Bowls is still very impressive. And I don't know, man. It's hard for me to put Mahomes at that pinnacle. And let's just say hypothetically he wins it next year. I don't know if I want to put him up against Tom Brady anymore, up until he probably gets to the 5 or 6 range, because Tom Brady won 7, and importantly, he did it with another team, right? I don't think he was really ring chasing, but I think he wanted to prove it. Hey, I'm not a system guy. I can win anywhere. I don't necessarily know if Mahomes will ever get that opportunity. And I don't know, with how weird that team looks next season, I don't know when he's going to get that opportunity to be back. They'll be great next year. Don't get me wrong. It's the Chiefs. But you have a division that is very hungry, and you have a conference that is looking better and better and better and better and better every single week. And I just don't see an opportunity for them within the next 2 years unless they drastically revamp this whole entire offense. And I just don't think they have it yet. And so for me, he's third or fourth. He's third or fourth.
So, Anthony, before you give your opinion, I want to say this. Ed and I talked about this, and I think the people that are hopping on the bandwagon of the GOAT conversation is closed now because of that are wrong. However, I think the way in which they're doing it is wrong. To go from, and this is Stephen A. specifically, from if he wins this, he's the GOAT, to the GOAT conversation's over, in my opinion, after 24 hours because of one game.
It's pretty insane. The
reason why I say this is because the stats I brought up last fucking week is before the age of 30, Patrick Mahomes is number 1 compared to every single one of these guys. What does every single one of these guys have that Patrick Mahomes does not? Long fucking longevity. The GOAT conversation is based off of longevity. You don't play 8 years and say, oh, I'm the GOAT because I won 4. Not how it works. You have to have a fucking career full of longevity, great fucking stats, highlights, Super Bowl wins, playoff wins, all of it. And to me, the biggest argument that can be made for like a LeBron or a Tom Brady is you can split their career up in 3s and they would have a Hall of Fame career number 1, Hall of Fame career number 2, Hall of Fame career number 3. Patrick Mahomes, if you split it up right now, it'd be like, yeah, he has the greatest start to a career ever seen. But he has to do this for fucking 8 more years just to match what they did. So it's like,
you have to be you have to be LeBron. You have to basically be LeBron. And
you have to be the greatest.
I really just wonder if his size is going to prevent him from being that. Go ahead, Dave.
I wanted to say, Keaton, I kind of lean more towards your side as well. And the way I kind of put it, so Brady's number 1, Montana's still is number 2 still. And then I just, after a performance like that, because your question, Keaton, was after this Super Bowl performance of Patrick Mahomes, I really just want to put a Peyton Manning in front of Mahomes, and I really just want to put it as like a 1A, 1B type thing at that point.
Sure.
Completely fair.
Sure.
Because that's tough. Because Peyton Manning he's a legend. Okay. Mahomes, yes, he's very good. And I don't know. I think that Peyton Manning is like the 1A, and then Mahomes is the 1B. Sure, when Mahomes, gets that 4th win, then things are going to change up a little bit. But after that performance, it was ugly. It was ugly, and that to me does not scream to be, yes, you have the 3rd spot automatically for me. Because I don't know. I just know, looking at it in the comparison of a Brady, let's just go in a Brady and a Montana to a Mahomes, right? Brady and Montana, if something was happening, if something was going on, right? If they were down like that, they would find ways to come back from this game and do things differently. They'd be able to read that defense. They would be able to read things a lot differently. And they go, hey, we need to switch something up here. It seemed like the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes didn't do anything differently. They just kept doing the same thing over and over again. And it clearly was not working. And how are you going to thrive with that? How are you going to come back from that? And he clearly in the Super Bowl, because Zach even said Super Bowl, he doesn't perform well in Super Bowl. Playoff, yes, best playoff contender. But Super Bowl, how are you going to come back from this? Mahomes proved to us that this game, he doesn't know how to come back from it. And that's my opinion on it.
Fair.
One of the other things, so they were, I think a lot of people forget, Tom Brady played 23 seasons in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's an average, realistically, 7 Super Bowl rings, damn near one every 3 seasons. This guy was basically, he owned the Super Bowl for the entirety of the time he was there. And that's not just, appearances wise, he was 1-3.
Yeah.
We're averaging Super Bowl appearances. Now wins is different. He's been, I believe, to 9 or 10 Super Bowls, but he won 9. 9 Super Bowl appearances. He only lost to the Giants, right? He's undoubtedly the GOAT. 5-time Super Bowl MVP, 7-time Super Bowl champion, 3-time valuable player. I think 10 times. I think it takes a huge hit. I think this is a huge hit on the Mahomes conversation. I think now because of this, and it's hard to say 4 is better than 7, but 4 is different than 7 when 3 of the 4 are back to back.
Yep,
I think that boosts his ability. But let's say 2-3 years down the road, Mahomes gets another one, and then another 2-3 years down the road, Mahomes gets another one. That's 5 to 7. I still am like, I don't know, because he didn't pull out the three-peat.
That's the main thing. It's because we've seen this from Tom in 3 different segments. Like, he's done this so many times. Like, he almost three-peated twice, fellas.
Yeah.
He almost did this twice. Like, we saw this exact same thing, but they redid it again with their dynasty.
And the Giants fucked up their perfect season. He almost had the perfect season.
So if Patrick Mahomes does it again and he gets 6, but even if he had 5 and he did it back to back to back, he would have something that Tom Brady never did. No other quarterback or team has ever did. Now he has no fucking chance unless he gets more MVPs, which might be possible. But Super Bowl MVPs and Super Bowls, unless he has a career like Tom Brady, it is very, very improbable. Very improbable. And that's the main argument for me, at least, longevity.
Yeah.
I also do want to bring up, so we all know how it went with the Patriots, right? In 2016, the Patriots won. 2017, Patriots lost to the Eagles. 2018, the Patriots beat the Rams. And the Eagles interrupted that three-peat. And here we are now. Eagles interrupted this three-peat as well. Sure, granted, yes, in the moment it was we weren't looking at it. We weren't looking at it like, oh, it's going to be Patriots are going to three-peat or anything like that in that moment. But when you look back on it, you go, oh shit, like they interrupted this. Like that's close. Crazy. And yeah. And then now we have the Eagles again. Honestly, I'm going to say right now, if there's a team, I'm at 2 peats and the Eagles are in the Super Bowl against that team for that team to get a three-peat, man, I'm putting all my money down on the Eagles.
Yeah. Well, look, let's I think let's move on from the Super Bowl. Good game, blowout. That's our takeaway for it. We need to talk about some of the news. This is the final news that we'll have for the 2025 season. Obviously, it's ended, but this is kind of in continuation of. The first thing that I want to talk about is our final head coaching hire of 2025. Kellen Moore, who was announced last week that he was going to be the full-time head coach of the Saints, wasn't officially announced and finalized until yesterday, I want to say, 2 days after the Super Bowl. So yesterday. And so, he's officially, he is officially the youngest head coach in the NFL and a first-year head coach for the New Orleans Saints. This comes obviously off the stint of the offensive coordinator position, his lone year with the Eagles, which obviously they won a Super Bowl and dominated in the playoffs. He dominated this year as an offensive coordinator. Obviously, bringing in Saquon is going to help him. The one thing I want to say is he's coming into a team with New Orleans that desperately needs something, and they are in the worst situation of any NFL team right now. They are negative 50 million in cap space coming up, and they have 3 to 5 former Pro Bowlers that are all free agents that they have to figure out how they're going to re-sign. Otherwise, they're going to enter a massive rebuild, which they can't really afford.
I will say, though, Kamara might have a fucking monster year.
He's going to have
a monster year.
Yeah. Going to have to carry that offense.
Yep.
Kellen Moore said, yeah, winning a Super Bowl was fun and all. Let's just go here now and just say, hey, fuck it. Let's just see what happens.
Well, that was the reason why he couldn't sign. That was the reason why he couldn't sign. You can't sign while you're still a coach. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So they said, hey, we're going to do it. And he said, I'll probably do it. But then it was, this morning that they officially announced the agreement to make him the head coach.
Which is nuts. He could just stay there.
I love it. He's now the youngest head coach in the NFL. I love it, man. I think he's a great fit there. I really hope he's good.
Yeah.
Which is even crazier, though. He could literally just stay there.
I was
just stay there.
Like, I'm just going to set up my shop here now.
No, I think that's a great fucking fit for sure. But I will say, like you said, the Saints are in cap space hell, and they are not a team with a lot of all pros. Let's just say that. They are lacking a lot of talent. So we'll see. We'll see. It's not like the Eagles. I can tell you that.
No. And you know what? The rest of these news segments are a lot of we'll sees what happened.
Yep.
And I think the biggest one that I want to talk about is something that I want Zach to lead on. I'm just going to say with a smile and a woohoo, Deebo Samuel's requested a trade from the San Francisco 49ers. This is not a false statement. This is not a, hey, I want to sign this contract. This is, I want out of here. Zach, what do you think he's going to go? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I have a couple of predictions, but I just want to get into this. Can the Niners just have one off season where there isn't drama with a wide receiver? It's been like that the last 3 fucking years. And Deebo's been like this for the last 2 or the 3 years. Look, man, I think the whole situation is a bit shady because Deebo has been on record saying that he wants this team to be healthy and be good next year and all of this. And he has his podcast and he's like supporting the team. And even in like the exit interviews, not with the team, but with the exit interviewers that are in the locker room, they're like, how can you guys improve next year? He's answering it like completely fine, completely normal. If you don't know Deebo is a complete drama. He's a complete drama freak. He's a drama queen. He loves drama. However, he didn't say anything, so we didn't expect anything. In the players' meeting, the exit players' meeting, he got up and said that he wants to leave. He has to be traded. In the exit player meeting. So he goes and says nothing to the media, which he typically does because he's a drama queen. And then in the players' meeting says, I want to leave. And so I saw this report and I was like, what the fuck? Like, that
I thought it was fake.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all. The 49ers organization, all of the head guys, GMs, head coaching, offensive coordinator, everyone has came out and said, no, we want Deebo to be here. Deebo to be here. All of them have said it. And so I was like, all right, like, cool. Like, this is probably fake, right? And then I saw Adam Scheffler. He posted, hey, Deebo wants out. He's seeking a trade. Him and his agent have said that they are seeking a trade now. And this isn't just bullshit. Like, this is real news. In cap space.
Yeah.
Which is fucked up, dude. Like, they basically signed this. The agent and Deebo made sure the Niners signed this contract so this would happen just in case this happened. Deebo complained about not getting the ball. He wants out. I will say this. I think there's one place that would make a lot of sense, and that is the Broncos. The reason why I say this is because Sean Payton has said multiple times that he wants a gadget guy. And if you've been watching Deebo, done this trade thing, mind you, only thing I'll say that he was kind of a bitch about was Adam Scheffler put this on his Instagram. He reposted it with the praying hands emoji. You're a fucking bitch. Sorry. Don't do that. Anyways, the day afterwards, though, he hops on a podcast with, God, I forget her name, one of the light-skinned girls that's like the analysts on ESPN. Anyway, she asks him what team that he would want to go to, and he said the Broncos. They're young. They have a lot of good talent. Bo Nix looks awesome. The only thing that they would have to do is go up against Patrick Mahomes. If you don't know, there was an interview, like I said, that had Sean Payton saying that he wants a gadget guy. Deebo would be the perfect, quote-unquote, gadget guy if he stays healthy. So, yeah, I mean, that's really it. I think he's going to go to the Broncos. Honestly, I could see a three-way trade, and we're going to talk about this in a minute. Maybe I'll keep it because we haven't mentioned it yet, but just remind me about the three-way trade that I think is going to happen. But yeah, I think that's really it. I just think it's weird. It really is. Like, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, you were hurt part of the year, and you also had the most drops of your career. You didn't have any yak this year. I mean, you looked slow, and you're complaining about not getting the ball. It's like, it was on you. Like, this is the first year where I could say it was on you. Like, everyone loved you. Like, we signed you. We brought back the love. Everything happened, and you're being the drama queen. But you played like shit. And that's the thing. Like, and the main thing to me was before that players meeting, John Lynch came out specifically. John Lynch came out and said, no, we want Debo here because there's rumors. Debo shut that down and said, no, I want out. And then his agent and him are now trying to find a trade. And the Niners could be fucked. Could be fucked if they don't trade him, because if they drop him before June 1st, which is definitely a potential, they are out $31 million or whatever the cap
Dead
space
cap.
is.
Yep,
So
31 million, almost on the
it's
dot.
fucked, dude. So, I mean, look, God, I don't want to say this without giving away what we're going to talk about in a few.
I'll just say it. Let's just say it.
There's definitely some
there's some spots for him to land.
Yeah, there's definitely some spots for him to land, and there's definitely some trades that can happen. I'll leave it at that, and once we bring it up, I'll start talking about what I was thinking.
Okay. Well, look, let's just stay on the couple. Let's just stay on this wide receiver train. T. Higgins says he wants to stay with the Bengals, but says it's out of my hands, man. I can't control what fate wants.
Please come to the Patriots. Please come to the Patriots.
Look, I think as a Bengals fan, it'd be encouraging hearing that. But, I mean, we saw last year. What the fuck did they do?
Yeah.
They franchise tagged two guys. It's like they don't have the money for both of them. No matter what T wants. If T got paid the same amount of Debo, they wouldn't have the same amount of money. They wouldn't have enough money for him. Because their boy there, Jamar Chase, who everyone loves, and sorry, T, you're the second fiddle there. Jamar Chase is going to get a humongous contract. Humongous. You have to take like a $20 million deal, and you're worth more than that, and you know it. You know it. So please come to the Niners.
Dude. What if out of spite he went to like the Cardinals? Actually, wouldn't be shocked.
Crazy shit.
Wouldn't be shocked. That's going to be a decent team. And what do you? I mean, where do you want him on the Patriots? I think that's a fantastic fit. I mean, I
want him to come to the Patriots so bad, so bad. Please, God.
I will say, as a Niners fan, he would fit in perfectly. Like, it would literally make the most sense because we don't have a red zone target guy. We have a great route runner in Brandon Ayuk. We have a yak guy in George Kittle. Ricky Pearsall, we still don't know. He could fit well. I don't think we'll do it, but he could fit well.
Yeah.
Although I will say he would be awesome in a Patriots uniform. And I could see him there.
He would look good in a Patriots uniform.
Yeah.
He would. Yeah. He would.
Well, I think for the Niners, it's also – I think for the Patriots, it's also – or for the Niners, it's also what are you going to pay Brock Purdy? Yeah, that's a big question mark. But, that's for later time. Our last wide receiver thing – actually, we have two more. Do we know what the plan is for Devontae Adams right now? I mean, is he going to stay with the Jets? We already kind of know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers, and we know that he's looking for a way out. What's going to happen with Devontae Adams? Because he's getting passed around like a beach ball at a Nickelback concert. This is not good. I mean, the only thing he's good at right now is being on a Taco Bell Cantina ad streak. That's it.
So this is what I was talking about. If you know what I was saying before, Debo wants to go to the Broncos potentially. I don't know. It seems like he does. And the Broncos potentially could want him, right? So I think there's going to be a three-way trade. I think there's going to be something that fucking crazy goes down. I think the Niners trade Debo to the Broncos, but within that trade, the Niners get Devontae from the Jets. And the Jets somehow are fucking intertwined in this three-way trade. That's what I think is going to happen. Sure. It would be fucking awesome. However, we have a younger version of Devontae in fucking our boy Brandon Ayuk. However, he did tear his Achilles, or not his Achilles. I almost pulled a Keaton. He did tear his knee up, so we don't know if he's going to be great. But Devontae's looks slower than he has in the past. I still think he has some steam in those legs, though. I still think he could be great. But yeah, I mean, realistically, I don't know where he's going to go. And if there was a trade that I would fucking die for, it would be Myles Garrett. I've said this before. If I could do a trade package. I'd do Floyd, who's our starting defensive end, Debo, and a first rounder next year for Myles Garrett. I would throw that at them in a heartbeat. But I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of landing spots for him. Cooper,
He's good enough.
Higgins, dude. There's a lot of good fucking free agents this year. A lot of good ones.
Yeah, I agree. I'd love to see. I don't think they will, but I'd like to see Seattle go out and get a wide receiver 3 or 2.
That would be cool.
But well, look. Speaking of wide receiver 3 or 2, we don't really know what he is anymore. DeAndre Hopkins confirms on Twitter that he is no longer retiring, or that he wasn't going to retire. In fact, he plans to play in 2025. What do we think is going to happen to him? Personally, I think he'll stay on the Chiefs. I think they'll sign him probably to a veteran minimum.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense for him to go anywhere else.
I don't think he really fits anywhere else. I mean,
no.
DeAndre, I love you, man. I've always defended you, but
he's just a little old. He's just old.
This one's gonna
He's old,
old and slow.
Yep.
Well, look, let's talk
Talk
old.
about old and slow.
Let's talk old as shit. The resident drug addict Aaron Rodgers has been informed by the Jets that they are moving on from him. I mean, they said, "Look, dude, you brought us a torn ACL, and or did he tear his Achilles? I don't know.
Achilles. It was Achilles,
AC Achilles.
Yeah.
Actually, I saw something crazy. So the first question I want to ask: where do we think he's going to land?
He's going to land in the retirement home.
I hope he does. I'm going to lead this on.
I have a team.
I heard that he is the projected favorite to land with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.
I read a report that they said that they're looking at him heavily. They want him there.
I can see it.
I still think the retirement home. I think the retirement home still.
He won't retire. Someone's going to want him. Someone's going to want him,
I
and I think he likes football too much.
Yep.
He needs to be done.
God, I hope not.
Okay, you want to hear crazy? You want to hear something that just came out today, 6 hours ago? Look, this is probably our last segment, but Jets reportedly told Aaron Rodgers he couldn't appear on Pat McAfee anymore. Had to attend all practices before split.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers missed a pair of mandatory practices with the Jets last season while he was on vacation in Egypt. Apparently he had several stipulations if they're going to move forward together in 2025, and he said no thanks.
Wow,
that's crazy.
So he's been released, right?
I'm pretty sure that they're going to release him if he hasn't already.
Yeah, Pittsburgh.
So, yeah,
I mean, that's the one that makes sense, but it's like, who else needs him? Who else would take him?
I don't know. I think if he was like a good veteran for younger players, yeah, you could have him, but I don't think he's a good person. I think
it's not like he played great. He didn't play bad, and he's not the greatest dude in the locker room. Like,
they should honestly.
Kind of a headache.
Is this a crazy? This is my dark horse team to take him. Is it crazy to say that the Indianapolis Colts should take Aaron Rodgers?
I can see that. I can
see it. God, he would look so ugly in a Colts jersey, though. He would look disgusting.
I know. It would look bad. It would look bad.
Yeah.
Look bad.
Yeah.
Well, Manning looked good in a Colts jersey. But I mean, he was the Colts, so.
Yeah, he's Peyton, though.
Yeah, he's the general. Omaha.
Yep.
Thanks.
Omaha.
Thanks.
Omaha.
Well, fellas, we ran a little over on time. That's okay. It's the last game.
Last episode of the season.
Last regular season / postseason / episode of the season. 2025, man. By the time we're back on here, it's going to be 2020, almost the end of 2025. So we appreciate you watching. For everybody who stuck around this long to watch the rest of the season, it has been a long 21, 22 week journey for this season. So we'll see you in the off season. Boys, do you have anything to say before we jump off for the night?
Go Patriots.
Check out the merch. Go Niners.
Settledown.com/merch
if you want to.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, obviously Keaton kind of just alluded to it, but we will be taking a break. We haven't really decided on how long that is, but
34 weeks.
Clips. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But
34 weeks.
It's gonna be fun.
Well, wonderful.
It's been a ride.
For the fans, viewers, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure.
Sayonara.
Peace.
Geno Smith is my guy.
I'd be exhausted, yeah. Third down and 9. Cousins looking, hit. Ball comes loose. Seahawks recover. And it's taken all the way back into the end zone by Hall. Mafe with the initial hit.